crazy. And so I had all this purpose, and I had all this vision, and I had all this mission. I knew what I was meant to do. And so I did it. Okay. And I had such great friends and such a huge family at CTI. And then I came back home for another year of community college. And when I came back home, all of a sudden, this like foundation that was built with passion and with mission and with vision was instantly stripped away, and I didn't have any of that anymore. Yeah, because you see, that CTI had built this foundation for me, and it was a good foundation. It was built on like biblical teachings, and it was a good foundation. And I had that foundation, but as I came out of that and transitioned back into college, that foundation was beginning to crumble because that wasn't there every single day, right? And so, and the result of a crumbling foundation is apathy. And apathy is essentially wasting time and wasting life. And wasted time and wasted life is really not at all what we were meant to do. And that's definitely not how we were created. So it took about 6 or 7 months to realize that. And I began to actually start to rebuild the foundation. And that's really what this time is. Especially as you come in, right? Because we come from home, or we come from where we've been before, and we may have had this foundation built for us. Yeah. And we may have had this foundation that was strong, and that we had a purpose and a vision. But now that foundation isn't there anymore. And I think for freshmen, I think you might get that the first time you go home, or when you go home next summer, is that foundation that your parents had built for you, and that foundation that you had been on, is not strong anymore. And so the result of that insecure foundation is going to be apathy. Apathy at school, or apathy with friendship, and you might find yourself just sitting in your dorm, not really doing anything, because you don't have that to stand on. And that's kind of the heart of what Vespers is the recognition by all of us that we have really, really weak foundations. And that we come together here on Thursday nights, and we talk to each other, and there's usually a student speaker, and they talk to us, and we start this campus-wide conversation that is really all about the process of rebuilding our foundations. Because the truth is that we're all human, and so relatively speaking, we all have really, really weak foundations. And so Vespers is a gathering of common people, but not just common people, just common broken people that come together and learn from one another. And that learning takes place between this kind of conversation, and between this kind of conversation, and between this kind of conversation. And that's what Vespers really strives to do, is to start this, and to start that, and to start this. And so, Kaylee already kind of mentioned it, but Vespers is every Thursday, so we really invite you to come, because it is really exciting, and it's really fun. And the first Vespers is great, because the whole community comes back, and it's just intense, and you can feel the power and the passion. And so, we really want you guys to come back. Some quick things about Vespers. This is Jesus, and This is kind of an icon that lets us know that as we come together, that the presence of the Lord is already here, and He's already been burning. He's already alive here. And so, a lot of times during worship or during the speaker, there's a lot of times that just might not be you might not be connecting, or you might be getting distracted. But this is here for that reason, that you can look upon it and to realize that the Lord is actually here. And so. That's kind of what Vespers is. And that's kind of the mission and the vision of Vespers. And we're all broken. And so we don't need to pretend like we're not broken, because the world is a much better place when we realize together that we're all broken. Then we can actually start helping one another. So I'm going to pray for us. And then I'm going to ask you guys to stand back up. And then we're going to continue a time of worship. And as we continue this worship, I just ask that as a community, as one community, you will cry out and you'll actually understand and realize that you're broken, and that this year is all about recognition, and recognizing that we are broken, and that we can start all these different kinds of conversations that might, by the end of the year, allow us to have a little bit more of a secure foundation. So you guys can bow your heads. I'm going to pray.